solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host. And the term transgender has recently come to the forefront of our society. Nearly 1 million people in the U.S. identify as transgender, yet most of us know little about it. Yet strides have been made from legal wins, making it easier for transgender people to find jobs, to health care, but so much more needs to be done. On today's show, I'll introduce you to some incredibly courageous people who've embraced their true identity. My first guest is a former United States Navy SEAL who received many awards from a Purple Heart to a Bronze Star and more. She gained public attention in 2013 when she came out as a transgender. Welcome via Skype, Kristin Beck.
Thank you. I'm fine.
Great. So tell us, what does it mean to be transgender?
Well, and you mentioned it's just recently in the forefront in the American eye, but this is something that's thousands and thousands of years old. I mean, we've been here forever,
right.
But most of us just hide. We hide our feelings, we hide our identity, we hide what our gender is. And I think that gender is made up of a lot more than just male or female. Gender is something that goes across a very wide spectrum. And I'm just part of that wider spectrum, where I'm kind of more into the gray area between male and female.
You know, and I think that's so important what you said, because people have had to hide because of public opinion and really a lot of misunderstanding. You've done so much in terms of serving for 20 years. How has that prepared you for what you're doing today?
Well, hiding for over 40 years was it's painful sometimes, and I think it's a wonderful thing to see these young kids being able to grow up in a very accepting and supportive family. But myself, just being in the military, it definitely gave me some special armor as far as emotions and a mental toughness. But it's still, no one's prepared for some of the social pressure and stigma attached to someone who is different. And all the differences, it's not that much. And the prejudice and bigotry is based upon fear, and a fear of the unknown, but it doesn't have to be unknown. There's so much information out there and so many people who you can speak with to alleviate these fears that people have. We're just regular people and want to live a regular life and just be accepted as just people. I'm not asking for a lot, but the information is there. If somebody spends a little bit of time, you can figure out what's going on, and then you can alleviate those unknowns and those fears. Just educate yourself a little bit, and you'll find that I'm not any different than you are.
You know, I'm glad you said education, because again, there's so much misunderstanding, and if people would just take the time to learn about transgender, to learn about differences, and to really get into a place of acceptance, we'd all be in a really happier place. Talk a little bit about what's going on right now in Indiana and with religious freedom. What's your viewpoint about that?
Well, religious freedom and freedoms for all Americans, and pretty much right down to every freedom and personal liberty that every American has, is because of the military and what I did for 20 years, defending that freedom and fighting for all of us to have equal opportunity and individual liberties. Now, the freedom of religion is already protected in the First Amendment, right. And there's a lot of things right now going on that I think is overstepping some of those boundaries. I think that they're saying that their freedom is more important to the other people's freedom. That's not what I fought for, and that's not what we defend as Americans overall. And I think that we need to take a real hard look at this and you can't overstep those boundaries, that you are not better than someone else, or you don't deserve more freedom than someone else. And I think we have to take a hard look at that. And much of this debate going on right now between all these other states is based on fear. Just like I was talking earlier about, was about education, about really taking a look at it. These laws that are being proposed are targeting individual groups, and that's not what America is based upon.
You know, it's really important. You're right. We're based upon free speech and liberty for everybody, despite religion, gender, color, and so it's very important. And you've been a civil rights activist for some time. When you were a Navy SEAL and Did you ever feel that you didn't belong, Kristin?
So I mean, that's one of those things that I always belonged to the Navy SEALs. I was always there in the Brotherhood, and it was very great treatment. But then as soon as I came out as transgender, the things would change a little bit, and there was a lot of people were unsure. They didn't understand, which is okay. You don't have to understand, but to have respect, that's all I was really asking for. And my SEAL team brothers, they respect me for who I am. They might not understand, but they respect me. And so now I'm still a part of that group, and I still feel like I'm part of that brotherhood.
Respect is key. Now, speaking of respect, you're actually running for Congress against an opponent in Maryland. What makes you different from your opponent?
Well, my opponent is Steny Hoyer in Maryland's 5th District. He's been in office since 1976.
Wow.
He's a professional politician. He's been in that seat in Congress for over 30 years. He's a professional politician. The approval rating right now from the American people for our Congress currently, what is it, like 12 or 15%,
Right.
maybe even less than that right now.
Right.
I'm not a professional politician. I served my country for 20 years. I'm one of the people. I've had businesses, small businesses, who are successful, and some of my businesses have failed. I've been unemployed. I've been living paycheck to paycheck. I've gone through the things that we, the people, go through. I don't think he has for 4 decades. So I'm going to represent the people, and we're going to make that approval rating come up because some of us, the people, will be in Congress. And so we're going to gain back the confidence of the people, and we can fix a lot of these problems that are going on.
And you know what, Kristin, I believe you will. Thanks so much for being a part of Power Your Life, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Still ahead, advice for parents of transgender children. Great resources and tips from our own Mama Deb, who is a parent of a transgender child herself. That and more when Power Your Life returns.